Hi, I'm Stan Farmer, Director of International Financial Planning with the international team at Walkner Condon. In our outlook for 2022, I decided to take a somewhat of a non-investment topic and discuss, as an expat advisor, what are 5 prime destinations for Americans living overseas in the coming year. This is kind of based, on my personal observations and my research of different countries that are particularly attractive to U.S. expats. So there might be a little bit of client bias here in terms of the people that we work with, but largely this is about places that are truly expat friendly for a variety of reasons, but they all share the common denominator of having tax or investment policies that work well for Americans abroad. So 3 countries from Europe. We wanted to make sure that we had some geographic representation from the rest of the world. So although Americans tend to frequent European countries more often, and there were many other worthy candidates, I selected France. Primarily, it's a wonderful country with great food and great climate and great wine. It also has a great treaty with the United States that keeps a lot of your American-sourced income from your investment portfolios or Social Security or even rental income from a U.S. property off the French tax rolls, because France is a fairly high tax jurisdiction. But because of the treaty, it can be somewhat tax-friendly for Americans. Portugal. I speak a lot about Portugal, and please look for other articles and videos that we've done on Portugal. But Portugal is definitely a hot country for U.S. expats, not only because it's a relatively low-cost Western European country with affordable health care, but because of the NHR program, the non-habitual residence program, which allows Americans and other expats from all over the world to live in Portugal for 10 years and not have to pay Portugal income taxes on their non-Portugal sourced income, largely. There are some exceptions to that, which I get into in this article and in other articles on the subject. And then, of course, the United Kingdom. Okay, the United Kingdom, because of the cultural familiarity and the language, it tends to be the place in the world with besides Canada, with the highest concentration of Americans abroad. In addition to that, there is the potential of tax benefits to avoid UK taxes on some of your US sourced income as well under the system known as remittance-based taxation, which can be freely claimed by an expat in the UK for the first 7 years of tax residency. Our representative from south of the United States in Latin America is Costa Rica. Okay, many fine choices with wonderful climates and beautiful scenic views and oceanside places to live. Costa Rica stands out for having strong expat communities, for having tremendous political stability, and the lack of potential military conflict because they don't have a military. They're known as the Switzerland of Latin America. In addition to that, of course, that important quality that we look for, no local income tax on offshore income. And for those of you that want to work while abroad, Costa Rican income tax rates are competitive, if not lower than U.S. tax rates. In Asia, again, many fine countries to choose from that can be tax-friendly: Singapore, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Thailand, but the winner, in my opinion, was Malaysia, for many of the same reasons that I decided to write about Costa Rica. Malaysia has a lot of alcoves of expats, British and American and other countries, Canadian, Australian. It tends to be expat friendly. It tends to be immigration friendly. It tends to, there are certainly places in Malaysia that give you the urban environment if you want to work, like Kuala Lumpur, but also a lot of just incredible scenic beauty and different places that are not terribly expensive to live. It's also got a great healthcare system, and of course, in addition to ease of immigration and great healthcare, you've got a tax system that can be quite friendly for an expat with a U.S. Pension, a U.S. portfolio of investments that they want to live off of because they don't tax offshore income. So again, it was hard to whittle my article down to the top 5, but I think that somebody looking to have an expat experience can look to our article as kind of a launching pad of looking at places to live from the financial advisory or investment income and tax issue type lens, and maybe get some insights, and we'd be happy to discuss those and other countries with you if you're contemplating a move abroad.